I'm Quite Mike, and I welcome you to Long Distance, Long Story, a series where I talk about long distance relationships and how to live through it till the long distance is over. Last episode, we talked about deciding not whether or not your significant other is the one, but deciding if he or she is worth going through the struggles of an LDR for. In this video, I want to talk about waiting for the future of your long distance relationship and how to deal with that wait. Alright, he or she is worth it, and he or she finds me worth it. Great. Then when the moment this long distance is over, we're gonna do A, B, and C to get married, and I just have to wait till my significant other is finished with his or her studies, finish his or her contracted job, or accomplish whatever milestone that is causing the two of us to be long distance. This whole concept of waiting that I'm referring to is comparable to the waiting room, that waiting for that appointment, whether it be for a doctor, dentist, or whoever. Let's call it the waiting room mentality. A waiting room with its secretary, TV, magazines, chairs, and maybe even some toys for the children. It's only a matter of time before someone opens that door of opportunity to call you, let you in, and meet the person you came to see. The waiting room is like your side of the world. The door is opportunity, and the one you go to meet is your significant other on his or her side of the world. Obviously, in the waiting room, you do nothing but kill time and wait to be called. However, in a long-distance relationship, are you also waiting and killing time? Are we just waiting for our significant other to do something to end the long-distance part of the relationship? Or are you the significant other who feels burdened to call upon all powers of heaven and earth to kill the long distance? Waiting for time to lapse for the long distance to finish should not be our mentality. Time is precious. We do not save it because we only spend it. So if we can't make time speed up, well, that's fine. Make time count instead of counting the time. If you got the time to work and save for yourself and the relationship, do it. By the time the long distance is over, y'all can get engaged and be married within the year and still have leftover money because of all your savings. If you two can do a video call for premarital or relationship counseling, do it. Lan and I took a legit test regarding our relationship and discussed the results with a pastor we knew. This was done even months before I proposed and helped out, in putting realistic introspect with our relationship. While the long distance part of your relationship is still going on, you can build yourself up as if you were single. You have the time to yourself to reflect, to grow, to improve. And yes, you can have couple goals, but don't let that overshadow your personal goals. This is two worlds coming together, not just one world dominating the other. Build yourself up all around, physically, mentally, socially, financially, and spiritually. Ultimately, your capacity to serve becomes greater not only for your future spouse, but for God. The bottom line is, your long-distance relationship, your life, is not a waiting room. Don't you dare to believe that you're trying to wait around and kill time. You may not be able to do so much together with long distance in between you, but you can sure do much more with your relationship by letting God continue to work through you. Improve yourself now and not later. If you're going to bring out the best in each other, how much more if each of you improved individually and with God? Don't worry, we're not leaving our significant other in the dust, but we're not just waiting for things to get done. In Luke 19, starting at verse 12, Jesus told a parable where there was a nobleman who went to a far country to receive his kingdom and then to return. Before the nobleman left, he gave money to his servants and said to them, "Occupy till I come," or till he returns. The results of what each of these servants did with the money that they were given is revealed starting in verse 16. The first two of the three servants doubled the money that each of them were given, but the last one hid the money entrusted to him. In the end, the first two servants, because they were faithful with the least of the money that they were entrusted, were also entrusted to have authority over cities. The last servant had to give his money to the first servant and was rewarded with nothing. Yes, the world has many Christians who believe that Jesus is coming back, but we too are not meant to be in this waiting room mentality. We don't know exactly when he comes back, but this doesn't mean God doesn't have a work for us to do. In your LDR with your significant other, you too may not have the exact day, hour, or year when he or she will return to your arms again. Until then, just like the nobleman in the parable said, occupy till your significant other returns. We don't necessarily have to double our money like the servants in the parable, but we could even invest time into skills like cooking, handiwork, Bible studies, etc. By the time you and your significant other settle together, you'll double your usefulness for your significant other and for God. In conclusion, you may not have all the money or resources, but you have time. I realized real fast that I kill a lot of time with entertainment, hours of it. The less of it I have in my day, the more time I can reclaim as mine, more time to improve my life. I encourage and remind us all not to wait to be together, but be ready to be together with the one you love and the one that loves you. I'm Quite Mike, and you've watched the second episode of my series, Long Distance, Long Story. I encourage you to subscribe and hit the like button if you enjoyed, because there is still more coming. And before you go, leave a comment. Have you had the waiting room mentality, and how do you deal with it? Well, until next time, God bless.